a man who doesn't work so hard.
Good segue. Good intro.
Pete Thompson. Something happened the other day that I was supposed to remember and bring up. Maybe PT will remember it, but
Cow tournament?
yeah, I mean, it happened that day where he said something happened, and I was like, oh, I'll remember that, and I don't remember it.
Wow.
PT, do you remember what it was?
He's not going to tell you.
No, I'm very conveniently happy that you don't remember. If you don't remember, then I don't remember. But
I do remember.
We did have a nice breakfast together. That was nice.
We did, and then during that breakfast, PT said, "Yo, I'll be out at the game," and he showed up at halftime.
It's not bad.
That's not true. That's not true. It was midway through the first quarter. You just didn't see me until halftime.
Yeah.
I was shaking hands and kissing babies,
Yeah, so as we were walking to the car, I remember him bringing something up, and then I'm saying, I'm like, yo, that.
I'll get you Tuesday.
We'll have to talk about this, and I can't remember what it was.
Man, that's disappointing.
PT?
He's not going to tell you.
But do you remember what it was? Did we lose Pete Thompson?
He's avoiding it.
Either that or he's pleading the fifth.
Yeah, it's not a bad move by him.
I really wish I could vividly remember where we were when we were talking about this.
Yeah, it doesn't help us.
No, it doesn't. It's just like we were walking out, and he said something, and, I was just, perplexed by this.
Was it regarding the game? Yeah, I don't know, man. Can't help you.
Was it regarding the game? I don't think so. I mean, the game was pretty, it was never close. The boys'
show is, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But Pete Thompson, host of the Pete Thompson Show, we'll try to reconnect with him here on the Sports Bash live on 97.3 ESPN. You can hear him Saturday mornings from 8 to 10 a.m. So, PT is going to be all fired up when we get a chance to reconnect with him here. Although, knowing the PT, feels like his phone died or something.
You think?
Well, I mean, you would think he would be able to get right back on the line.
I mean, I think he still has a rotary phone.
That's right.
So his cell phone is not very reliable.
That's true.
Last time I talked to him, I'm like, dude, when are you going to upgrade? Get with the times here.
He actually asked me about getting a new phone the other day.
Yeah, what is he thinking?
Well, he was asking me what phone I have. He doesn't want to go iPhone.
Yeah, he told me that.
Yeah, he's anti, so he's at least in that category.
He really sounds like an old man for his reasoning. I have some friends that aren't iPhone, but
I'm not iPhone guy. And you know what I like even more is when I get the guy who says, "I hate that you don't have an iPhone because I can't do this, that, or this with you."
Well, and that's every Apple person in the world. The number one thing that we all say is the green text message. So if you have an iPhone, it's the iMessage.
So
it's quicker.
The color?
If you both have an iPhone, it's a blue text message, and it's essentially quicker. It's similar to Facebook Messenger.
What do you mean quicker?
The text send quicker. So you know how if I'm texting you on Facebook, you see the dots when I'm typing? Mm-hmm. That's how the iPhone works. If you have an Android and I have an Apple, it's a little bit more delayed. It's maybe 5 seconds delayed, the text message is sending. So people with iPhones are like, we can talk better.
Faster.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So this is what I need in my life?
This is it, man.
Quicker conversation?
Yeah, you need me to bother you more through iMessage.
What'd you think of Pompey's role for Shake Milton?
I said that the other day. I think I said it yesterday. That's exactly what I envision. I don't know about starting, but
he says that he looks at him in the starting five.
That's surprising to me. I mean, I wouldn't hate it, but I would envision Shake coming off the bench and running that second unit a little bit and then playing meaningful minutes late in games. Listen, the Sixers have a depth issue, meaning in a good way.
And I'm not trying to poo-poo Shake. I like Shake. I hope the guy turns out to be this player that, wow, we found a guy in the second round. I think teams that are good need that guy. You need to find the Draymond Green.
Every good team has one.
Right. You need to find a guy that you're like, man, everybody missed this guy and we got him. Maybe he's the guy. But my question is this is a team that, is very, you got these two young guys, then wrapped around this other group of guys. You're asking a guy a second-round pick, Shake Milton, and you're saying, Is that the guy that they've been missing to piece it all together? It just seems so like
you're putting a lot on his plate from a small sample size.
You're putting a lot on his plate, but you're also, man, it's a really far-fetched idea.
You think? I mean, it depends.
I'm not saying it can't happen or that I'm just absolutely ruling it out. It just seems like, man, here's this guy that's been here the whole time.
No, I agree. You know, it's hypothetically, if Ben and Joe were available tonight for Shake Milton to be starting in that lineup and playing 25, 30 minutes or more when, you know, all your tools are in the toolbox, that's a lot to ask. I would agree.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it just, and it's like the whole story of it, it's just like a weird dynamic of, hey, this guy, I think we got Pete Thompson here. All right, you there, PT?
I'm here. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my phone.
Yeah,
I know what's going on.
Because you cost us all that time there, now you need to tell us what I forgot that we were walking on the parking lot the other day.
Right, and I was just trying to answer as I heard that I don't remember what it was. I mean, you hit all the usual cast of characters, was I going to help out with a game? I showed up at halftime, says you. I was there in the first quarter. But,
first quarter, second quarter, still not tip-off.
Well, I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Hey, PT, you going to do sidelines? Yeah, sure, I'll be there for the game, no problem. Comes rolling in halfway through the first.
He was mopping the sidelines. That's what he was
doing. 2 out of 3, I think, is pretty good. I made my show that morning, and I had breakfast with the MG. That's a pretty good. That's 2 out of 3.
Made the show. Yeah. Made the Pete Thompson show. That's an accomplishment.
It's the Pete Thompson show, and I showed up for it.
Hey, if you guys know me well enough to know every week I show up for it, that's an accomplishment.
That's true. Pete Thompson, host of the Pete Thompson show on 97.3 ESPN. All right. Obviously, you're all flyered up. They've won 6 in a row. They're 3 points out of the top spot. Are we at the point now where we're not just thinking about playoffs, we're thinking about more?
100%. I mean, first of all, you saw the stats, right? I know Eitan was talking about them, and I heard you talking about them yesterday that, Money Puck, first of all, had them as the favorites, right? I mean, they're a 99.1% chance to make the playoffs. So it's not just will they get in. Now it's will they make a deep run, although they made some surprising news today when they announced that they were going to start Brian Elliott tomorrow night instead of Carter Hart. People are kind of getting up in arms about that, but good Lord, the last time that Brian Elliott played in D.C., that game worked out just fine.
Yeah. They beat, again, so I'm going back to 2 weeks ago when they beat Columbus at home, then beat them on the road, and then followed it up again with beating the Rangers at home and then on the road. And I look at those back-to-back types of wins as you've sold me that I can trust you now.
Yeah, and remember, they were trailing in Columbus, too. It wasn't just that they won the second half of the back-to-back, but look, the 5-1 game at home, I was there. And by the way, this is the first Tuesday in 3 weeks that I'm not sitting at the Wells Fargo Center or on my way up to the Wells Fargo Center to see the guys play. Big game for them tomorrow night. But, yeah, you're absolutely right. And, one of the things, too, that I keep hammering home, too, is that, the new additions are working out. Giroux is awake. Voracek is awake. But I read today some stuff about their defense and their pairings and how good they are. And the stats are, like, mind-boggling. They're leading the league in the fewest shots allowed. That's something they've never led the league in. They've never been first in it. They've been second before, but they've never been first. And then on the flip side of things, they've gotten 42 goals from defensemen. I mean, that's a gigantic number from your blue line. So, I mean, that's two good things on the yin and the yang of defense to be able to get from your guys back on the blue line.
Pete, what changed? I mean, is it fair to say that 4 weeks ago when we had you on for Tuesday with Thompson, we didn't believe that this team could really make a cup run and have a legitimate chance? And you just rattled off a ton of stats and reasons why they've won 6 straight games and they're in the spot they are. But, like, what have you seen and what has caused the team to take this step?
Well, of course, and so the low point, if you will, or one of the low points was that road trip that we were on when we were out there seeing them on the West Coast. And then maybe the lowest point was coming back and playing the Devils at home and losing 5-0 to the Devils. That's the point. You win in Detroit, you think, oh, you won in Detroit, or they beat the Avalanche at home, and the Avalanche are streaking right now, and you sit there and look at that. But to me, what changed is the veterans are playing the way they're supposed to. Giroux got hot. Voracek is hot. They like the way the lines are set up now. And then the biggest thing, Ryan, to be honest with you, is the power play is completely clicking, and they're doing it like they're starting to work up set plays on the power play that catch teams by surprise. And then even when they scout them, they can just kind of run it in the reverse order. G's back on the side that he's comfortable on in the top unit. Voracek's on the side that he's comfortable on, and they're clicking on the power play in ways that they haven't really all season.
Yeah, Voracek said this, and I want your thoughts after the last win. He said, I think you can tell that's another reason why we're winning games, Voracek said, of the team's improved depth. So many times in the past, if me, G, or Coots didn't score or have any points, we would find a way to lose. That's not happening very often this year.
Yeah, and then, kudos to Chuck Fletcher for the depth that he went out and got. The young guys, that's the thing. For so long, the Flyers have gone the way that Voracek or Giroux goes. But Konechny came of age last year and continues to get better. Couturier had a career season last year and continues to get better. I mean, good Lord, Couturier almost didn't play in the Rangers game on Sunday because he had the flu. Not only does he play, but then he goes out and scores a goal in the game, And when you add the Derek Grants and the Nate Thompsons, no relation, those guys are coming in and they just provide depth right down the center line. You can't have 2 lines to do it. You have to have 4 lines. Another thing I came across today is that, in the NBA, they call it load management, right, where you're going to rest your guys down the stretch so you save them up for the playoffs. If you went through and you looked at the time that the big 4 are playing, Giroux, Couturier, Voracek, and JVR, each of those guys are averaging almost 3 to 4 minutes less than last season during the 6-game win streak. I mean, Giroux is like from 19 minutes a game down to 17, or Couturier 1950, almost down a full minute. Voracek almost down a full minute. That's a way it helps. If you get up on a team, you're not afraid. You don't have to keep throwing out Giroux, Voracek, and that top line. You can just keep rolling your lines and having success with that.
All right, Pete Thompson. Don't forget the Pete Thompson Show, Saturday morning, 8 a.m., 97.3 ESPN. This is Tuesday with Thompson. So the Flyers play the Caps tomorrow night. They've got Boston next week. They've got Tampa next week. So I guess we're about to find out a little bit about them in this stretch.
100% we're going to find out a little about them. And, to me, that's the thing, too. The back-to-backs are a big reason. Elliott's had success, and you've got back-to-back games coming up. Hart's been better at home. So if you look at just this pairing here, they play in Washington tomorrow night, and they play Carolina on Thursday. Well, which way are you going to go? Throw Elliott in at Washington where he's had success, and then let Carter Hart play where he's felt successful at home. When you sit there and look through the schedule, Mike, there aren't too many, cupcakes that are coming in. You've got Detroit on March 26th, and New Jersey. You're at New Jersey on the 28th. But every other team, Nashville, Dallas, St. Louis, Tampa, right? I mean, what the Flyers' bugaboo has been anytime they've gone to Tampa and tried to be successful down there. They just need to stay the course, though. I mean, seriously, this is going to prove their worth. But, boy, 6 green W's in a row when you look at the schedule, and 7 out of 8, the only snafu was that at Tampa game when they were on that Florida trip. So they're at a high level right now.
Pete Thompson, the Jacksonville Jaguars have announced that they want to try to trade, or they haven't announced it, but reports are that Nick Foles will be on the trade block. According to odds,
I heard you talking about this yesterday. I was laughing my butt off.
All right,
That's so great.
According to odds makers, Jacksonville minus 110 is the favorite. Indianapolis plus 325, and the Philadelphia Eagles plus 600 are as the favorites. The top 3 favorites to land Foles. So does the PT want to see a reunion with Saint Nick?
I'm with John. Nick, you'll always get a beer in the town. You'll always get your dinner paid for. Thanks for playing, buddy. Happy to know you. We don't need BDN coming back to.
What's that? Oh, never mind.
It's just initials for a nickname that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are like, wait, he's available? Why wouldn't you go out and get him there? But, there's a lot this offseason with the Eagles, and we saw the combine this week with all the wide receivers running. I know the draft's about a month away or so, a little bit farther than a month away, actually. But where's the PT leaning towards first-round pick 21?
Well, it is funny, too. I mean, in the old days, we used to say, oh, they're 21, they're going to trade down. I mean, that was almost – you can, set your watch to it because that was the Eagles' way if they were in that second half of the first round. And I think there's a lot of logic, too, to the fact that because they're so deep the draft is so deep at receiver, maybe they can find a way to not have to go receiver number one. But to me, it's either got to be a receiver or a secondary guy. And you mentioned Jacksonville a minute ago. You're seeing that story's coming out that they're going to trade Boye to the Broncos. So there's another target out there. If that was somebody that they were going to try to go after, he's gone. He gone, to quote that Duck Dynasty show. So, I mean, those are the two biggest needs to me are secondary needs and receiver. And I don't – you know what? PT will be happy whatever order they go in. If it's receiver first and he's some burner, I'm totally okay with that. And if it's secondary first and he's supposed to be the shutdown corner of the draft, I'll be okay with that too.
PT, if you were Howie, what would you ideally like to see the Eagles do? Or what would you do? Is there a player that you really like that stands out? If not, at least is there a position that you'd like to see the Eagles go after first, whether that's in the draft or free agency or whatever it may be? For me, I want the Eagles to get Ruggs. Do whatever it takes to get Ruggs.
You're a big fan of that?
I am.
Watching it? Were you a fan of it already, or was it after the Combine?
I was already a fan of him. The Combine, I think, put a stamp on it. And a couple, my buddies that know football pretty well, they convinced me that Ruggs would be a great fit with the Eagles and Carson. So I'm all in.
I mean, and of course, when you ask me this question, too, do we already know what's going to happen with all the veteran guys? Do we know what's going to happen with Jason Peters for sure? Malcolm Jenkins?
We don't. That's why I'm saying, you put the GM cap on. What's your first move if all things are the same?
Well, if I was wearing the GM cap, my first move is to fleece somebody to take a guy off my hands so I can get more picks. That's I mentioned it a minute ago, but that's the way. I don't know that the Eagles have a lot of assets per se that they can package in a deal, but I just look at it like that's their way usually. Especially when they're 21, correct? That's not number one. That's not number 4. Right? I mean, those are the kind of moves that were at 21. They've traditionally fleeced another team to still get. I mean, remember a couple of years ago when they got Dallas Goedert, how great that was? I mean, I like it whether it's a slight move up or a slight move down. I'm always okay with the moves that they make, as long as Howie's making them. Get out of the broom closet and start making the moves.
PT enjoying the Major League Baseball players wearing mics on the field?
I'll take it. I'm okay with that. I mean, I haven't heard F-bomb yet or anything like that, but yeah, sure. Look, I'm all about anything that brings you inside the game a little bit closer, and to me, Lord knows that baseball's been stodgy enough for a long, long time, so I'll 100% take it.
Have you been watching XFL? Honestly.
I saw the catch. I was like you. I didn't see it live, but then I saw the traffic about it, and then I heard Gil talk about it, so as is my obligation as a 97.3 ESPN employee, I had to go to our website and click on it to watch it. And, boy, I'll tell you what, I'm just honored to have the last name Thompson. I never even caught a Nerf ball like that.
But besides – no, that's not surprising. Neither have I.
Small hands. I don't know that you'd
be a good me and Joe Burrow, we have small hands. He's going to be an AC this weekend,
Yeah, Maxwell's. I don't think you'd be a good pass catcher.
No, but what everybody thinks was that I was built like Jason Peters at 12, and I wasn't. I was long and lean. I was kind of like Freddie Barnett or somebody like that, or I don't know, John Telchik.
Freddie Barnett, John Telchik. Wow, bringing out the punter.
Well, I wanted to get race specific. I wanted to compare myself to somebody that at least.
Yeah, the punter. There you go. All right.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. That's me. I'm one bar, Matt Barr.
Yeah. You're more like Sean Landetta.
Oh, I love that guy. His hair is better than mine.
You're like the kicker from The Replacements.
That guy
That's
was
true. Now that's good. That's Reese Hyphens, by the way.
Yes.
And the fact that I know that means I seriously need help.
Yeah. Peter, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN, the Pete Thompson Show, Saturday from 8 to 10 a.m. here on 97.3 ESPN. I really wish I could remember that story.
I bet as soon as you hang up,
No,
you'll remember.
It's not.
And I won't be able to defend
I remember
It must not have been that good.
we were walking in the parking lot on the Stockton campus, parking lot 6, over by the basketball courts there.
Don't give away the secret. Now we'll never be able to park there.
Yeah. Well,
You'll be like Spike Lee.
I would imagine we have a whole nother year for people to forget that.
That's true. Just like you forgot the story, thank God.
That's right. Just like I forgot the story. All right. Well, we'll look forward to Saturday morning, Pete Thompson Show, right here on 97.3 ESPN. All right, PT.
Thanks, guys. I'll go get a new phone.
Thanks, PT.
Yeah, Pete Thompson, like all guests, appeared via the Boardwalk Honda hotline. We figured out a way to get the PT patched in there.